Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse, Frugally, and I think you are going to love today's video. It is my birthday in September and my husband's in October, so we took a couple days and went to Stowe, Vermont. And it was so relaxing and so beautiful. We had peak foliage. We were situated by a walking path, our hotel. We got to do some antiquing and some thrift shopping and some sightseeing, and it was just such a wonderful time. So here are a few shots of that, and then I'm going to show you what I purchased, how I flipped some of them, and then how I styled them. And so I think today is going to be a lot of fun. So thanks so much for stopping by. I am going to start with a few things that I thrifted at the Goodwill or at a local flea market. And then a couple of pieces that I actually picked up this week at my dump. So I'm starting with this beautiful antique cookie cutter, which is a little cat. I paid $2 for that at the flea market, and I have just styled it here in my kitchen on my little two-tiered tray for now, just to display that. And then I went to a couple of antique shops. They didn't have anything amazing open. A couple that we tried to find no longer in the area, but I've been looking for butter pads. This is the only one that I found, shockingly, because dairy is everywhere in Vermont, but I picked that up and then displayed that in my kitchen since it had blues. The Goodwill had 4 ironstone bowls for $1, so that was too good of a deal to pass up. Not that I need any more, but I did stack it here on my hutch with a little pumpkin in them, and so I thought that was a fabulous deal. 25 cents a bowl, you can't go wrong with that. And so then I was at that antique, flea market, and found this. Oh my gosh, this might be my favorite purchase. This is something that goes for $35 right now on eBay. I got for $3. It was filthy, and I cleaned it up and displayed it here with my yellowware. And I did also get the largest bowl there on the left top for $30, which is also a steal. So this is really just a phenomenal way to collect when you go to flea markets if you have that opportunity, especially end of the season. Everybody's trying to get rid of stuff. And then at that Goodwill, this picture was $1, and I can't even believe it. I absolutely love this wood tone, and I thought that the pears would look so beautiful with the pears that I have here underneath that yellowware in that armoire. So for now, I just hung it there on a little hook that was there, and I think that that looks really sweet. But can't go wrong again for $1. So this was such a great buy. Then this table runner lace was free at my dump. Somebody had just dropped it there, so I put it here on my bookcase in a basket filled with pine cones. I've moved it all over my house this week. I just love it. I'm not sure where it will actually end up. Then these 2 salt and pepper shaker birds. Bluebirds, how absolutely cute are these? I really thought they were adorable, and they were at the flea market for $1 each, so I picked those up and then ended up displaying them here on that 2-tiered tray, and I absolutely love them. And then free at the dump on the good table was the wood heart, and displayed that here with some other items that I have already on the counter, and just add that pop. Now, this is a clock case from many years back, and I thought it would make a fabulous flip, so you will see that later on. This box at the flea market, $5. How fabulous is this box? I am not sure exactly what I am going to do with it yet. It does have a name stamped on it, and it has a little handle on it with some old-fashioned hinges and a lock, so well worth the $5 I paid. You'll see that a little later on in this video because I'm going to display something on top of it. And that was a steal for $5. Then these beautiful frames with George and Martha Washington silhouettes in them were the two of them were $5 total. The guy at the flea market said I could have this entire tin with its lid filled, and it had so many other pieces of tin in it that it was crazy. There had to be 20 different lids at least, and so here's a couple displayed here, one in my living room and this one here on my bookcase. I think looks amazing there. And then I had one little lone lid made out of this same pottery, so I just propped that up against the other pottery. Now, I do collect this. I've got a couple of these tins, and so I picked up that one for $1, and then this was $2, one of these blue insulators. Those are usually 7, 8, 10. And then here's that gorgeous box with some of these blue items that I've collected. The other insulator was free at my dump, but it does have a good-sized chip in it. Then this little funnel I do need when I do some canning, so I picked that up for $1, but I displayed it right here on my hutch for now with a little pumpkin in it. And then this piece, which I had stuck inside that first bucket, was actually $1 at the flea market as well. And so here it is with that sweet little squirrel my son and his fiance gave me with some beautiful flowers for my birthday. Then this frame was free. It was $40 ticket on the back of it, price ticket, and I love the wood tones. I stuck it there for now. Obviously, I'll switch out the people. I don't know them. So I am going to start here with my first thrift flip, and this is the most simple of all. I simply want to take some latex black paint and paint over the frame that obviously is worse for wear. Over the years, obviously got banged on something and chipped and what have you. So I just went ahead and painted over just that top rim that got damaged and left everything else the same. And the sheen matched really well. Touched up the rub and buff area there with the gold, and that made this frame look just as beautiful as the other one. And I love, love, love the way this looks in my dining room. This could not be any more perfect for the vignette that I have already displayed there. And I loved that they had hanging hooks on them. Him on the front of the basket and just propped her on the top. So that came out phenomenal. Now, second thing I'm going to do, I am not going to touch the exterior of this clock case because I love the age on it. But it is too dark inside with that purple velvet. I could rip it all out, but I decided I'm just going to take this. It's like a packing paper that I had. It came with, I think, some food item or something that I had gotten some time ago, and I thought it would be fun to keep for the texture. So I'm tucking the piece in the background, and then I am simply going to open the lid and fix the hinge with a piece of wire, and then I am going to stuff in some brown moss and a little white pumpkin, and here that is on the other side of my dining room, and I think that is so sweet, especially since my husband does clock repair. Next, I emptied and cleaned that beautiful tin and then sprayed it with a poly coat and brought it back inside so that I could use the IOD transfers. I love the way they transfer on tin, but it's definitely a good idea, especially if it's rusty, crusty, to give that a good poly coat so that it has something good to adhere to and you won't waste your transfers. I have quite a few left over from the new release this spring, and so I am going to go ahead and layer a few of these together. Because that green color is on the lid, I wanted to use colors that were complementary to that, and I really love this orangey tone with that, and then gave that a few other pops of creamy color, and then added these gorgeous ones right on top of that. I had thought I was going to add a lot more to this tin, but as I just had these few on there, I decided that I just absolutely loved the way that this looked as it is. Didn't want to make it too busy, so I burnished that down and then decided to just go ahead and put one more on the lid. And that is just perfect in my mind, the way that that came out, to be able to turn it around the other way if I don't want to display these colors, and then be able to display it this way when I do. And here it is in my home office. I just love this. What a great steal for $2. Anytime you can get tin and put transfers on it, always looks so phenomenal. So I am going to then move on to the next thrift flip. I can't decide which one is my favorite, but I got these pumpkins at that Goodwill for $1 each, 99 cents each, and they are a little worse for wear. They're missing a little bit of the leaves, and they could use a little love. So I pulled off the stems, and I pulled off the leaves, and I took the craft paints that I had as close as I could get to the colors that were on there, just to get the white covered up, and then used my heat gun to dry that. And then once I had that, which actually I think the colors came out pretty close, I went ahead and pulled out some grunge mix, which is just some coffee grounds mixed up with some spices and some warm water, and just went ahead and went over the leaves because they were a little thirsty and a little old and brittle looking. So I thought that I would make them look a little more refreshed, but also kind of a little more vintage. I could have done the whole pumpkin with this. I kind of debated on that, but I decided not to. So I just grunged those up, and then decided I did want a little lighter tone. So I just had in front of me some textured creamy paint. So I just sort of dry brushed a little bit over the wet, and then took the paper towel and sort of blotted the bulk of that off. But just to kind of lighten that up a little bit, give it a little bit more leafy texture, and then dried those. Now, once those are dry, I decided that as I was doing this, I was getting more and more creative ideas as to what to do with it. I didn't start with any one idea, but I did decide that I was going to go ahead and glue them together and stack them and give them a little bit more weight, and then put those leaves back on. I'm going to cover over the area that I painted in that pinky red color and with one of the leaves. And then in my stash from the dump, I picked up an antique doorknob that worked absolutely perfect as a new stem. So I pushed that down in, and then I decided to attach it to this couch leg, I think. I'm not even sure. Something I had in my stash. So drilled a hole, put in a little stick, and then attached that. And here it is in a drawer that I got free at the dump. Those are my end of fall thrift flips. Please like and share and subscribe. And if you are willing, hit that hype button so others can know about my channel. I would appreciate that. Really trying to hit 5,000 this year. And let me know your favorite and what it is that you would like to see next. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.